Pistol Whip is a shooting rhythm game that has you travel down a straight line in each stage, whilst enemies spawn all around you at a very fast pace. There actually isn't too many actions that you can perform in the game, but this simplicity doesn't make it a lesser experience at all, due to how quickly you will be performing the actions in quick succession. You're armed with one pistol, so the game does only require one touch controller to play. This is the first game on the Quest that I've played which really only requires one hand, and I must say the design of the touch controller is great for placing both your hands on one controller if you want to. This game requires you to aim and shoot very quickly, so I constantly found myself switching from holding the touch controller with one hand when enemies were close to me, and then grabbing it with both hands for a more steady shot when enemies were pretty far away. It doesn't sound like much, but being able to switch hand positions adds a more natural gun handling motion to the game. To reload, you point the gun downwards. It's simple, easy, works flawlessly, and ensures that you're able to carry on shooting in a split of a second's time. Another action you need to perform in the game is dodging. Pillars appear every so often, so you will need to physically move your body out of the way of them, and beams also appear as an obstruction, which you must duck under. Because of these, you will need a pretty decent sized play area, and will need to stand to play the game. The really cool thing about these obstacles is the fact that some are placed in time with the beat. It feels great to have to move your whole body out of the way of them, whilst the music is flowing alongside your real world movements. It just immerses you so much more. The final action you can perform is the name of the game itself, the Pistol Whip. Sometimes enemies will spawn right in front of you, which allows you to smack them with your pistol. These moments are like a game of chicken, as if you don't take them out quickly by easily shooting them, then they will likely shoot at you. To dodge incoming bullets that have been fired from close range will require lightning fast reflexes from you, but the payoff is worth it, especially as sometimes the levels are laid out in such a way where the flung enemies will collide into walls. It's visually a treat, as when they die, an explosion of particles is seen. Dodging out of the way of shots that have been fired from further away is a lot easier, not only as you have a longer stretch of time to react, but also thanks to an extra piece of visual guidance. A red circle is seen in your vision that directs you to each bullet's location. At first, it can be a bit intrusive, but the more you play, the more used to it you get, and you can actually turn this extra aid off in the options menu if you want to. Just like the obstacles that are in time with the beat, some of the bullets have an effect on the audio too, most notably in the more calming sections of a song. This game combines gameplay and audio effects seamlessly, and the result is a highly engaging experience. Enemy spawn locations have been given so much thought. Sometimes they spawn to the left of you and then suddenly to your right, which obviously demands a quick reposition of your arms from you. And the enemies can also spawn above or below you. Some extra aiming precision is also often needed, as some enemies spawn with armour on. This is such a fast paced game, so much so that the game by default starts you off on the easiest setting. I went against this and put it on normal, but after doing so I quickly realised it's probably already set on easy for a reason, and the reason is that you can die pretty quickly in the game. Rather than having a short window of invincibility after you get shot, you will still take damage from every bullet that collides with you. You don't get that much health at all, but you do restore some armour each time you kill an enemy. But considering enemies often spawn in groups and every single hit you take will deplete your health, it can be game over in only one encounter with a group of enemies. This can create some frustrating moments, as you will benefit greatly from already having knowledge of the level layout and enemy spawn locations. If you do die, it's game over and you must restart the whole level again. You can turn on a no fail modifier though, if you want to get a good feel of a level first. It really does feel like you're in an action movie, and even in the game's official description, it says that the John Wick movies was some of the inspiration for it.
Oh please, we already have a John Wick game, we don't need another one.
So you would say that these two types of games give you the same experience?
In both, you are basically John Wick. It's not my fault if my skills at roleplay are of a higher standard than most.
There is 10 levels/songs in the game, and although the abstract light visuals are present in all of them, they do have different themes. Some contain dinosaur bones, which gives the level a museum feeling, and another has the theme of death, which is appropriate for the song choice. The scoring system is related to the rhythm of each song, as if you shoot and kill an enemy in time with the beat, you receive more points. This makes the game a highly replayable experience for score chasers, as not only do you need to know the rhythm of a song well, but you also need to have a good idea of where enemies are going to spawn from. Unlike other rhythm games that have notes come towards you in a straight line, this requires you to have extra memory skills of enemy placements. This setup will absolutely separate the noobs from the pros on the online leaderboards, and is a much needed slight diversion from the overused rhythm game scoring mechanics. I've already mentioned a couple of the game's modifiers, but there are some other ones here too, and they do have major effects on the gameplay. There is one here that gives you no ammo, so you must dodge your way through the entire level, and another allows you to dual wield, which makes the game slightly easier, but is a fun distraction nonetheless. You can also change the type of pistol you use, and customise its appearance. These options are all unlocked from the beginning though. Personally, I would have liked some to unlock as you beat stages on different difficulties. It would have given the game an extra sense of progression. Still though, if you want to play as John Wick, who isn't afraid of using a brightly coloured gun, then you can do so as soon as you first launch the game.
You know what's going to happen, don't you?
Absolutely. You're now going to say a stupid remark.
This is fact. We are entering dark times, my friend. Now that we have all of these John Wick games coming out, we have yet another overused genre of game in the making.
Leading up to the launch of Pistol Whip, I thought it was going to be a really good game, but I must admit, it really did exceed my expectations. Trust me, you really do feel like an action star whilst going through these levels, due to how all the interactions are laid out one after another. There may not be too many levels in the game right now, but the game's difficulties, excellent scoring system, and modifiers make this a highly replayable game. The developers have also said that new levels will appear in free and paid DLC. This is one of the easiest games to recommend that I've reviewed yet. All this game really requires you to be is an action game or action movie fan. If you are one of them, then you absolutely need Pistol Whip in your library of games.
Well, don't come crying to me when your system is filled up with John Wick and Battle Royale games.
I'm really starting to wonder why your observation is needed in these game reviews.
Mr. Oculus.